Hello, I'm here with Peter Wishnie and Dr. Peter Wishnie, should I say. And thank you for being here in YouTube. We're going to make this channel helping doctors throughout the United States to get insights of how they can improve the practice. And I have your book here, which I love it. It's a perfect for any kind of business also. Like it's a lot of things dedicated to podiatry, but there are a lot of things that can fit in any business owner. So the book is The Podiatry Practice of Business Solution. Everything you need to know to flourish in your podiatry practice. So I want to highlight here on this book is your type A employee. So before we get into that, just give us a little bit about you, Peter. Share with us who you are, where your background, where you come from, and how you come with this book that you're sharing all your knowledge with.
Excellent. Thank you. First, thanks, Giselle, for having me. This is great. I love doing this. I love sharing my knowledge to everyone. And also, it's a great learning experience for me. I practiced for about 34 years. I never worked for anyone in my life. I bought a practice when I was 29 years old, grew to 2 offices and 5 other associates. And about 2 years ago, I sold the practice to private equity, mainly because none of my docs wanted to buy in. They were very happy. They're happy. I'm happy. That's great. So, but for the last 12 years, I've found this passion of helping other doctors. We all have struggled running a practice and being physicians at the same time. It's not like, if you are a restaurant owner and as long as you're not doing the cooking, you just can focus on running the restaurant. But we are actually working in the practice and on the practice at the same time, which makes it difficult. And I've just studied the business aspect for so long. I became a John Maxwell leadership coach because you're going to find A players. That's the basic topic for today. But to do so, you need to become the best leader possible. And that's why leadership is the one thing that will give you the time and the money freedom that we're all looking for, that balance. So I've just wanted to share as much knowledge as possible of what I've learned. That's why I've written the book. And I'm going to make that book also for all medical professionals. And now I coach doctors, all kinds of doctors. I have a coaching group, one-on-one private sessions. But just as much as I love helping my patients, I love helping doctors live the life they so desire. And that's the key, the life they desire, because we think our life is just in that practice. Our practice is a conduit to the life that we want.
Absolutely. Yes. And we do work with doctors that has the privilege to work with you as well. And we work on the billing and the revenue of these doctors, and you see the flourish when the doctors work with you and how they engage and commit to change whatever they are doing to get what they want to be. It's exciting to see.
That's great to hear.
So now the part that I think it's every business owner struggle with this stuff, to have these, and we need them. Without them, we cannot, get where we wish to be, we desire to be. So we needed those team around us. And now you talk about what is A, B, and C type of employee?
Well, there's really one kind of employee you're looking for. That's the A plus A employee. Are they hard to find? Sure. Are they out there? Absolutely. So your C's are the ones who give you the hardest time, the ones that you keep on having nightmares about every single night. And I'll quote Dan Kennedy, and he's a famous copywriter. If you have a nightmare about a staff member for 2 or 3 nights in a row, it's time to fire them.
You mean
If we get
literally a
touched,
nightmare? Do you dream about
oh
them?
yeah, yeah. You just wake up. You wake up. I have this. I have clients who have this. You wake up in the morning wondering if this person is going to show up or not. Okay. And if they show up, do they show up and perform? Or they're going to give you trouble throughout the day? But we keep them. We keep on keeping them because they give you wonderful excuses, or like, family members ill, they had a bad stomach ache. It's all that, and it just goes on and on and on. And you just wake up really thinking that they're going to show up. Okay. So those have to go. And the problem why, and I'm going to go around a little bit in circles, but I get back to what you're saying, what you're asking me. But why do we keep those C players is because we don't have enough staff. We have one MA, okay, one front desk person, or some I've seen offices have one person total. You can't function like that because things happen. You have to be a good boy or girl scout, and you have to like prepare for things before it happens. So what happens when you get a phone call or your practice manager gets a phone call, so and so is not showing up? Okay, does that affect the running of that practice for that day? And if it does, and if it costs you money because this person is not showing up, that's why that person can't be there, and that's why you need to have a bench. You have to have really good players. Things do happen in people's lives. Okay, so as you see, your Bs are like they're good. They're good. Maybe they don't take the initiative that you want them to take. You ask them to do a task, they do the task, and they do it really well. But they always have to be told what to do. Okay. And a lot of times that's great. We can get a B and move them into an A. And sometimes you need a couple Bs. That's fine. But they're showing up and they want to do a really good job, but they just don't take initiative. An A is just a person who is empowered to do the job and takes control. That person knows what his or her job is and just handles it and knows and can foresee what's about to happen and knows that and has everything planned out. It's just amazing. And what we do as business owners, this is not a doctor problem. This is a business owner problem. We
Yep.
spend more time on our C's and B's, and we rarely give the recognition to the A. And when you do that, because you try to convert these C's and B's into something they're not, and you don't spend enough time with the A's and recognizing them in front of their peers, you're going to lose them.
Hmm.
Okay. And because that's the one thing they want. That's the one thing most people want, to be recognized for doing a great job. Okay. And a great employee, an A employee wants the work. They want the challenge and but they want the recognition, the accolades of them doing a great job. More important than actually the salary. That's important as well.
Yeah.
You can't underpay them, but it's the recognition and just tell them how much you need them.
Yeah, and I think this A1 can be also, that's how I see, maybe I'm wrong, but the A1 I see would be the model to inspire the bees to get there,
Sure. Okay.
or not.
That would be ideal. That's when a B wants to become an A. But if a B has um, no desire to get to that level,
Hmm.
um, they'll be happy where they are. They're content.
Now,
Okay.
what
And
happen if you have, uh, I would that be B or C? A staff member always showing up, it's there working hard but not delivering. So is that an IQ, or is that a like, is that a consider B or C? They're always there, they wanted the job but they cannot get what you wanted them to
right,
be.
they make mistakes. They don't perform well, or
Yep.
exactly. And then, well, here's the thing. The next thing is, um, we are in the people business. We're in the business of helping our patients and helping our staff. And we have to realize that we need to treat our staff like we treat our patients and have patience with our staff.
Right.
And in order to do that, this is really what we call taking charge of your job and knowing your job. That requires knowledge and responsibility. So if someone wants to take the responsibility, The real issue is knowledge. That means training. So how long do you train someone?
Good
Well,
question.
it is hard to find people who are loyal to your business. If you find a loyal person, but the only thing they don't have is that, like you said, that um, they're not just performing well, then it's your job. It's your job, the office manager's job to actually spend time, even extra time, after hours, whatever it takes, during lunch breaks, buy them lunch and sit down with them and just in a nice, easy environment where you're not being rushed through the day because you have patience, where there's zero patience and you just have a checklist and you're going through, we need to learn this. Let's see if you're efficient on this, and then go down the list. Where are the inefficiencies? Now, when you know them, you just keep on training, 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 and then you learn, you teach them, they demonstrate that task, and you go back and forth, back and forth. I just had this as a talk with someone yesterday, one of my coaching clients. So I did my fellowship in Israel. Okay, in Israel, to learn Hebrew, there's sort of a course called Ulpan, and all it is conversational Hebrew. And what happens is they have two teachers, and they speak English, but they don't speak English in the classroom. So you have students from all over the world because they all came from other countries to work in Israel. So one teacher would say to the second teacher, my name is so and so in Hebrew. What is your name? And the second teacher would say, my name is so and so, and then go back and say, what is your name? And they go back and forth, back and forth, and back and forth till the class figures out what's going on. And then they go around the room. The first person in the class is seated in the class will answer the question in Hebrew and then ask the question to the next person behind you and just goes around the room until you catch it. It is basically repetition. Repetition is the mother of all invention. Okay. And you didn't know how to do a hammer toe surgery. You didn't know how to do a bunion surgery the first time you did it. Repetition is how you learned. You watch them multiple times. You actually did some work multiple times. The see one, do one, teach one doesn't work. And if you have loyalty, someone who cares, and they just then need to be trained. And everybody gets trained at different speed. So the question really is that maybe you want to ask Giselle, it's like, where do you have the time to do it? You make the time. If you have that kind of employee that really cares, everybody comes from different backgrounds. They're so that's why the words you use doesn't resonate with them because that's
Mhm.
not language they use. So you have to be slow, deliberate, pull them to the side, even taking hours away from the practice so people can get trained. But if you could understand, everyone on this call could understand how long it takes to find an employee. So if you
Right.
have someone that's just about there, it's
So,
easier to spend the time with them.
okay, so what I'm getting from that is like loyalty is the main, it's most important. So then once
Oh
you
yeah,
have that, you work things out with that person. Is that right?
correct. Yes, I mean because if they don't show up and they can't do the little extra things that you ask them to do, then why do you spend the time with them? But someone who really, really cares, then it's our job to do so, no matter how long it
So
takes.
on your experience, what is the most challenging when you are trying to build it up this A team?
What's the biggest challenge to develop the A team?
Mhm.
Well, first of all, if you on your interview process, it starts right there throughout the whole interview, knowing your vision of the business, what the mission is, and what your values are, and finding people that match your values. Not someone who can just fog a mirror, not someone who says I can do the job, but you have good references. They came into shadow to watch you for an hour or two in the office. They seemed interested. Um, so it starts with that whole interview process. But once you have them, your biggest responsibility is to train them. And I don't care how many years of experience they have in that job, they're doing it your way. So having a systems written out, knowing what they should expect what from you, what you should expect from them, and informing them that these are my expectations. This is the job. This is what the purpose of the job is. This is what the desired outcome looks like. Um, and then educate them on the mission statement that you have for your practice. Not just throw them to the job, but really get them to buy into, like I said, the whole vision of the organization. So once you do that, you need to have meetings, and we had weekly staff meetings. You have to check the pulse of the team. Is
Mm-hmm.
how can I help you? And that's called servant leadership. How, as the owner, can help you, the employee,
Mm-hmm.
okay, to do your job better and more efficient or whatever. What do you need from us? So periodic check-ins like that, open door policy come in if you have any questions, you have any concerns, showing empathy, showing that you care. Um, that's all really important. And really, that's the challenge. The challenge is finding the time to be with people. But when you are so like into just treating the patients and handling everything with those patients and don't do anything with the staff, you don't spend time with them, that's
Mm-hmm.
when you start losing them and you not even know why things are not going right,
Right.
the
The
way you expect.
connection. Yeah,
The
we have the
connection.
same with when we work with our clients. The connection makes the whole difference for the collections. If there is no connection, there's no communication, so it's loose. So we can get what we need. The doctor cannot get what he wants. It's lose lose.
That's
It's
correct. Yes. Yeah.
yeah, it's so important that the communication. And I think actually what I see, which you probably see when you do consultations for many doctors, that training portion, which is hard for them because most of them that I see, they don't have a training structure to prepare the staff for the front desk position, the MA position. Is that right?
That's correct. They just, here's your desk, here's your phone. They'll teach you maybe how to use the computer system. But we have phone scenarios for probably for about 10 to 15 different um, kinds of situations that patients call up and ask questions. So we have phone scenarios that we train the staff and role play with the staff, like how to answer the phone. Um, how do you answer certain questions like, do you take this insurance when you don't take that insurance?
Uh-huh.
Um, so and then we have a checklist of making sure, like I said, that what they know and what they don't know. And on top of that, we have what I call drill questions. These are questions that once we think they know the position, we ask them these questions. Demonstrate how you answer the phone. Demonstrate how you answer this question. Demonstrate this, demonstrate that. And it's like over 100 questions that we do over a couple of days. So then we can just see where they need help or where they don't need help. It's not really just to test them and get them nervous. This is so we can help them and say, oh, you need more help on that. Well, just give you some more training. Not a problem. Um, so yeah, so that's the best. And then when you
That's
know that your staff member knows the stuff, you can let them go and you feel
yeah.
comfortable to give them the work that they're going to be able to handle it properly. So you're doing it not only for them, you're doing it for yourself, so you can just feel comfortable with your new staff person.
Now, this service that you provide, I think it's amazing. Like prepare the staff, helping doctors have the staff prepare. Is that like a service from Top Practice that you guys do it, or you do your
Well, I do
consultation?
that in my coaching, so that's something for
Okay,
me. And so I have the whole checklist when I coach people, they get all that kind of stuff.
that's super valuable and then needed as well. Because the amount of revenue that get lost for untrained staff, it's ridiculous. So having these, it's such a valuable service that you're offering. Then
Right. Yeah.
now,
Yeah. Thank you.
I have a question for you. Like one piece of advice that you have for doctors, they are having problem with the staff or they want to turning their staff into A.
Sure. So the biggest problem I see is that people don't have enough staff. So there's so many things that you can have someone do in your practice. You have to then, like I said earlier, if your one front desk person's on vacation, who's going to answer your phones? So cross training, you have a couple people, that's all you have, cross train them, and then have an extra person who can allow you to have more services, like buy a laser or just any other services that they can help you with. And they can also help you with some marketing or recalls. Everybody in my office, they call about 10 patients a day that haven't been in the office for 6 months or longer. And they it's called a recall. So they actually help and bring more patients into the practice. So that's like the biggest problem, not having enough staff and not spending enough time with your staff. Even if you have a great office manager, you, doctor owner, needs to check the pulse because you're writing the checks, your name's on the checks, and they want to know that how you think about them, and you need to know what they think as well, and not be surprised when one day they come in and give you the 2-week notice. So having, to me, weekly meetings is very important, and that's how you can know that.
I agree, completely agree. So how people can reach out to you and then contact you and continue this conversation or further ask you questions. So
sure, you can reach me at it's, I guess, email drwishnie, WISHNIE @gmail.com. If you're on Instagram, I'm coach _Peter Wishnie, and you can message me there. So those are the 2 best ways.
Fantastic. Thank you, Peter, so much for your time, for your knowledge, and for all that you do for the doctors. I appreciate it. Have you around helping they reach the success. Thanks for being here at YouTube.
Thank you.
We are looking forward to our next episode. Your questions and comments fuel our discussions, so keep them coming. Don't miss out on the latest updates. Hit the subscribe button and stay connected with us on this journey of success.